The village of Thornmere is a nice place. It is between forests and hills that go up and down. Not much happens in Thornmere, and people like it that way. Emma Hartley has lived in Thornmere her life. She is 23 years old now. Emma Hartley likes to take care of her garden where she grows herbs. She also helps the village healer make medicine for people who are sick. Emma Hartley knows all the plants in her garden. She can tell what they are by touching them. She can even smell the roots. Know what they are. Emma Hartley feels happy when she can help people feel better with the things she grows. She likes doing this work because it makes people feel good. The village of Thornmere and the people in it are very important to Emma Hartley. When the royal decree came, it said that Lord Kellyan Nightshade wanted a wife from the areas. Emma did not think she would be the one picked. She was not a person. Emma did not have a face or know how to behave like rich people do. Lord Kellyan Nightshade was looking for a bride. Emma was just a simple woman. She knew how to take care of plants and help people feel better when they are sick. Emma understood the way things grow. She was kind when people needed help. The village elders picked Emma for this task. They might have been afraid to send someone important. Maybe they saw something special in Emma that she did not even see in herself. Within 3 days, Emma was on her way to the Obsidian Palace in a carriage. She had a bag with her, and in this bag she had dried lavender and rosemary. These herbs always made Emma feel better. Emma liked to have these herbs with her because they gave her comfort. She was going to the palace with these herbs in her small bag. The palace came out of the mountains like a dark jewel. It had towers that went up into the sky when it was almost dark. Emma had been hearing about Lord Kellyan Nightshade since she was a kid. People called him the Frozen King. He was a king who had been alive for a long time, 800 years, and he was never kind or gentle. For 300 years, Lord Kellyan Nightshade had been asking women to come and meet him, women who could be his bride. But he never picked any of them. He always said no to every one of them. Without telling them why he did not like them, the throne room was really high. Its walls were made of black stone that reflected the light from the candles like tiny stars. Emma walked across the floor with no shoes on, following the priestess, who was guiding her with a hand on her back. The priestess seemed impatient. Around them, the vampire courtiers were watching with faces that showed they were bored or a little interested. The vampire courtiers had seen this ritual times before. The throne room and the ritual and the vampire courtiers were all very familiar to them. Emma and the priestess and the vampire courtiers were all in the throne room together. Lord Kellyan was sitting on his throne. He looked like he was made of winter. His hair was like the moon. It fell around his face. His face was very beautiful. It was so beautiful that it did not look completely human. It had edges, and it was perfect. Lord Kellyan was wearing armor. The armor was dark. It had silver patterns on it. The patterns looked like they were moving in the light. Lord Kellyan's eyes were like storm clouds. They were looking through Emma. They were not looking at her. It was like she was another person who had let Lord Kellyan down. Lord Kellyan had seen a lot of people who had failed him. Emma was one more. Lord Kellyan's eyes made her feel like she was not important. Emma's heart was beating steadily in her chest. It was not fear that she felt, a weird feeling of giving up. Emma thought that she would be rejected. Emma would have to go home. Emma's life would go on, just like it always did. The priestess gave Emma a push, making her trip on the first step that went up to the throne. Emma put out her hand to stop herself from falling. It landed on the arm of the throne. It really hurt when a fancy metal spike, made to look like a rose, went into her hand. Emma felt a lot of pain because of the rose-shaped spike in the throne's armrest, the pain from the metal thorn. In her palm was sharp. The priestess had pushed Emma towards the throne platform. Blood came out. It was really red against Emma's pale skin. Emma took a breath and pulled her hand back. She looked at the blood in horror as it fell onto the stone steps. 1 drop of blood fell. Then 2 drops of blood fell. Then 3 drops of blood fell. Each drop of blood seemed loud in the quiet room. The blood was falling from Emma's hand. It was making a lot of noise in the silent chamber. Emma's blood was over the ancient stone steps now. The atmosphere in the room changed fast. All the vampires just stopped moving. They were still. Every single vampire was staring at Emma's hand, which was bleeding. They were looking at her hand with focus that it made Emma's skin feel weird. The priestess took a step back. Her eyes were really wide. She looked like she was in shock, or maybe she knew something. Lord Kellyan moved for the time since Emma had entered the room. His fingers were resting on the arms of the throne. Then they grabbed the metal tightly. The old iron made a noise because it did not like being squeezed hard. Lord Kellyan took a breath, and his nostrils got big. His eyes, which were usually cold and empty, started to show some feeling. Emma did not know what Lord Kellyan was feeling. Lord Kellyan's eyes were blazing with emotion. Emma looked at Lord Kellyan. She did not know what to make of him. "Stop," he said. His voice was really loud and clear. The priestess was trying to put bandages on Emma. She stopped moving. "Let me see," he said. He wanted to take a look at Emma. Emma was shaking badly. She had her hurt hand pressed against her chest. The warm blood was coming through her dress. It was a simple dress. Emma did not get what was going on. She did not know why she was so clumsy and why it made things so bad. Emma just felt really scared and confused. Her hand was bleeding a lot. It was all over her simple dress. Lord Kellyan got up from his throne. He walked down the steps to her. It was like he was floating. He did not seem to be putting in any effort at all. Lord Kellyan stopped in front of her. Emma had to look up to see his face. When she looked at Lord Kellyan close, she saw some scars on his jaw. These scars told her that Lord Kellyan had been in a lot of fights a time ago. The man said your name and his voice was really quiet, but it was clear he was. "In charge. Emma Hartley, my lord," she said to him. She was really surprised that her voice did not shake. She was. From Thornmere Village, he reached out to Emma. She got really tense, but all he did was take her hurt hand in his hand. His hand felt cool on hers. It was not bad. It was like touching a stone that had been sitting in the shade. He turned her hand over, looking at the cut closely, which made Emma feel weird. He was looking at the wound on her hand with a lot of focus. That made her feel uncomfortable. He wanted to know how long I had been working with herbs. The man asked me this question. I was supposed to tell him about my experience with herbs. The question really surprised her. She thought for a moment before she said, "I have been doing this since I was a girl, my lord. I was 8 years old when I started. The village healer took me in after my parents died. She became like a mother to me, taught me everything I know about healing. The village healer was very kind to me. I am very grateful to her. I know a lot about plants. What they can do for us. Plants have different properties that make them useful. We can use plants in different ways. Plants are very useful to us because of their properties and uses." "Yes, my lord." "So you get how the body works. You know how it functions and how the body heals itself? The body is really good at healing. The body, that is really important to know. How the body heals is a part of understanding the body." Emma nodded slowly. "I get it, enough to help people who need it. I have read about the body, how it works as much as I can with the books I have." Lord Kellyan's face changed. It was like a crack appeared in the calm face he always showed. He let go of her hand, turned to talk to someone else. Emma had not seen this person before. The person was a man. He looked 16 years old. He was standing near a door on the side. This young man looked a lot like Lord Kellyan. He was very pale and beautiful. Lord Kellyan looked strong and cold, like he was made of ice. This boy looked like he could break easily. He seemed delicate, and you could almost see right through him. Lord Kellyan and this young man looked similar. They were also very different. Torin, Lord Kellyan. Emma heard something she did not expect in his voice. It was warm and full of care. Lord Kellyan even sounded like he loved Torin. "Come here," Lord Kellyan told. The boy walked forward slowly, making sure each step was just right. As he got closer, Emma's healer instincts kicked in. She noticed that the boy was not feeling well. She saw that his hands were shaking a little. The boy was also leaning on his side more than his right side. There were some bruises on his collarbone where his shirt was open. The boy's breathing was not very deep. Emma's healer instincts told her that the boy was sick, so she looked at the boy's hands again. Saw the slight tremor. She looked at how the boy was favoring his side. Emma also saw the bruising on the boy's collarbone, and she heard the shallow quality of the boy's breathing. Lord Kellyan said, "This is my brother." He was talking about Tauren Nightshade. Lord Kellyan was still looking at Emma of Tauren Nightshade. For a long time, 300 years, Lord Kellyan has seen Tauren Nightshade get weaker and weaker. Tauren Nightshade has the wasting plague. This plague killed our parents and a lot of our people. The people who did not die from the plague had children. They got sick too. Tauren Nightshade is the one who suffers the most from the wasting plague. Emma looked at the vampire with kindness. She could see that the young vampire was very sick. "I am sorry," Emma said in a voice. It must be very hard for the young vampire to deal with this. The young vampire was... Emma felt bad for the young vampire. Lord Kellyan went on to say that he had turned down every bride. The reason was that none of them could help Lord Kellyan's person in need. He did not care about making deals with families or having a pretty wife. What Lord Kellyan really needed was someone with blood that might have the cure for the curse that had been affecting them for so long. Lord Kellyan had been searching for this cure since the curse started. It started to make sense to Emma. She looked at her palm, saw that it was bleeding. Then she looked at Tauren's face. He seemed really hopeful. After that, she looked back at the Lord. He was watching her closely, trying to hide how desperate he was to know what she was thinking. The Lord's face looked calm, but Emma could tell he was really worried. The woman said that she thought her blood could help the man. She thought that her blood was the thing that could help him. The woman really thought that her blood was what he needed. Lord Kellyan said, "I know it can. The smell is all I need to figure this out. You have antibodies in your blood that have not been around for a long time. 1,000 years to be exact. The blood you have is special because it has things in it that we thought were gone for good. Your blood is like music. To us, it has properties that we thought we would never see again." An older vampire came up to us. He was moving really fast and seemed kind of nervous. He had on these robes that made him look like a person, and he acted like people. Usually listened to him when he talked about books and learning. "My lord is right," he. Then he fixed his glasses that were sitting on the end of his nose. "I am Scholar Aldrich. I am in charge of the medical research group for the family. We have been looking for markers like the ones you have for a very long time. The chance of finding them was so small that we had almost lost hope of finding them. The genetic markers like yours are really important to us. We have been searching for them for centuries, trying to find genetic markers." Like yours, Emma thought about this information for a while, her mind going over what it all meant. "If my blood can help, I will give it to you. You do not have to say, 'This is about getting married or working together.' Just tell me what you need from my blood. I want to know what you are going to do with my blood." The throne room was quiet again. Lord Kellyan looked at her like she was talking nonsense. Scholar Aldrich's mouth was hanging open. Tauren even looked surprised. Lord Kellyan just kept staring at her. It was like he had no idea what she was saying. The people in the room were all looking at her now, including Tauren and Scholar Aldrich. Lord Kellyan still did not say a word. Lord Kellyan asked this question slowly. He wanted to know if you would really give your blood without asking for anything in return. Would you do it without wanting any money or something to keep you safe? Lord Kellyan was surprised that you might give your blood for free. He thought you would at least want some promises that nothing bad would happen to you. Emma said, "Your brother is in a way." She looked at me with a face. Emma is a person who helps others feel better when they are sick or hurt. Helping people like that is what she does. So why would she say no to helping my brother? Lord Kellyan looked at her for a long time. Emma saw a change in his eyes. The empty look on his face started to go. Something new was there instead. It was not a happy feeling. Maybe it was like he was remembering what it was like to be happy. The idea of being happy was there. Emma could see that Lord Kellyan was thinking about something. Lord Kellyan's eyes were different now. The man looked at me, said, "You are either very kind or very foolish." He said this after thinking about it for a while. "I am a person," Emma said. "I know what pain looks like when I see it. I see it in him, she said with a nod towards Torin. I see it in you. You have been looking for a cure for a long time. 300 years? That is a time to be searching for something. It is clear that you are desperate. This kind of desperation changes people. It leaves marks on them like scars. I see these marks on you. Lord Kellyan smiled for the time that anyone could remember. It was a smile, just a little curve of his lips. This small smile changed his whole face. Lord Kellyan said, Scholar Aldrich, get the medical room ready. I want all the staff. We need to be very careful. Tell the council that we have finished choosing a bride. We have found the one we were looking for. Lord Kellyan seemed happy about this. The bride's selection is now over. Lord Kellyan has found what he wanted. He turned back to Emma, and his face got serious again. This is not going to be easy. We need to take out enough of Emma's blood to help. Not so much that it hurts Emma. It is going to take a time. Maybe Emma will have to come here to the palace for months or even years to get regular treatments. Emma will have to stay in the palace for a while, and I will stay, Emma said. This decision feels right to Emma in a way that Emma just cannot explain. Whatever's needed, Emma added. Torin took a step forward. His eyes got all teary. Thank you, he said quietly. This really means a lot to Torin. It is something that's very special. To Torin, Emma smiled at him. It was the smile she had given to scared people in her village. I think I am starting to get it, she said to the man she was talking to, and she felt like she was beginning to understand the man and what the man was saying. Lord. Kellyan offered his hand, and Emma took it without hesitation. His cool fingers closed around hers with unexpected gentleness. Come, he said. Let me show you what you have agreed to save. The medical room was really down under the palace. It was made from the stone that the earth is made of. It had crystals all over the walls. These crystals sparkled when the moon shone through the holes in the ceiling. Emma was standing in the middle of the room. She was looking at all the tools that were laid out on the tables. The medical chamber had tools that Emma knew about because she did healing work. There were knives and small glass bottles and bandages made of linen. The medical chamber also had tools that looked really old and weird. These tools were not made for people like Emma. They were made for bodies that turned not like human bodies. Emma saw all these things in the chamber. Scholar Aldrich was moving around her with a lot of energy. He was arranging the instruments carefully. His hands were shaking a bit, which showed that he was really tense even though he was trying to act. Like everything was okay, he said, we will start with 2 units of blood. His voice was steady. His fingers were still shaking. We are doing this so that we can see a difference, Scholar Aldrich explained. We do not want to take much blood from your body, or you will not be healthy. Your body will make blood, but you will feel very weak for several days, and that is what will happen to you when we take the blood from your body. And that is why Scholar Aldrich was being so careful. Emma nodded. She had helped with bloodletting times before, so she knew what could go wrong. Emma had seen some patients handle it well and others who just could not take it and fell apart in the middle of it. Every person's body is different when it comes to losing blood, and the bloodletting process affects people in ways. The body's response to blood loss is unique. Emma knew that bloodletting was no exception. She said, I am ready. Then she sat down on the padded table that Aldrich showed her. Tell me what I need to do with the equipment, she asked Aldrich. Lord Kellyan was standing by the door. He was watching everything that was happening. He was watching with a lot of attention, like an animal waiting to pounce on its food. Lord Kellyan had not left Emma's side since they came into the room. It was nice to have Lord Kellyan near her. It also made Emma feel a little scared. Emma could feel Lord Kellyan looking at her. It felt like someone was putting pressure on her. Lord Kellyan's gaze was like a weight on Emma. Torin came into the room a while after that with a nurse helping him. The nurse had a calm face, the kind of face that shows someone has been doing this job for a very long time. Torin, the young vampire, looked really weak in the light of the medical room. His skin was so pale that it looked like it was glowing. The medical chamber had a lot of light. That made Torin the young vampire look even more fragile. The procedure took 2 hours. Aldrich did everything carefully, like someone who had studied this procedure many times, but never actually done it. Emma saw her blood flowing through tubes into glass containers. The blood was a red color against the clean glass. It looked like something you would see every day. There was nothing about it. It did not look like something that could bring miracles or old antibodies or salvation. Emma watched the blood and the procedure. It all seemed very ordinary. The blood procedure just looked like the blood procedure. When Aldrich started giving Torin Emma's blood, something changed away. It was very clear that something was happening. Torin took a breath. His eyes opened really wide because he was so surprised. His back lifted off the table. His muscles got all tight.
For a second Emma was really scared. She thought that her blood was actually hurting Torin of making him better. She thought that they had made a mistake and that her blood was bad for him. Then Torin's breathing became steady and deep. His face started to look healthy, like when the sun first comes up after a long night. The color came back to his cheeks. His eyes, which had looked dull because he was sick, now looked full of life. The bruises on his arms started to fade. They did not completely disappear. They got lighter and smaller. They were healing faster than they should be. Torin's bruises were getting better at a rate that was not normal. "I can feel it, Torin." You could hear the wonder in his voice. His heart is beating properly now. The blood in his body is moving like it is supposed to. Torin had forgotten what it is like to be healthy. The nurses suddenly started moving, checking the patient's vital signs and writing down what they saw. Aldrich looked at his machines with surprise at Torin, then back at his machines again, trying to figure out why what they said did not match what he could see with his own eyes. He kept looking at the equipment and then at Aldrich, trying to understand what was going on with the measurements and what he was actually seeing with Torin. Lord Kalian walked quickly across the room. He took 3 steps to get to his brother's table. Then he dropped to his knees. Lord Kalian grabbed his brother Torin's hand. His fingers were shaking. He put Torin's hand to his forehead. It was like he was praying. Emma saw Lord Kalian's shoulders shaking. She knew he was crying. Lord Kalian was crying silently. These tears meant a lot to Lord Kalian. He had been scared for a long time. 3 centuries. Now he was finally letting his feelings out. Torin said softly to Kalian, "Brother, I want you to know that I am not dying. This is a deal for me. For the time in my whole life I am not dying. I am actually going to be okay, Kalian, I am not dying." Emma looked away, giving them some space for a moment that was too personal for people they did not know to see. Her own eyes felt like crying. She had helped people before, made them feel better and saved lives, but not in a way like this. The thing with Emma and helping people was that she had done it times, but never something that touched her heart so deeply like the experience with these people, the people she was trying to help. Emma had done a lot of things for people, but this was different. It was something that really got to her, something that was very profound for Emma. The days that came after fell into a routine. Emma stayed in the palace infirmary, where she slept for a time. Her body needed to make blood because she had given so much. Aldrich was always there, bringing Emma food that was good for her and special pills to help her get better. He watched over her all the time, making sure she was getting stronger. Emma was very important to Aldrich, so he took care of her carefully. Torin came to visit every day. He was getting stronger every hour that passed. This change in him was really something to see. In 1 week Torin was moving around with a smooth and natural ease, just like vampires do. He was not being careful or slow anymore. Emma found out that Torin laughed a lot, and it was very easy for him to do so. When he laughed, it filled the infirmary with a happy feeling. This was something that the old stone and dark shadows had not seen in a time. Torin's laughter brought brightness to the place. The vampires, like Torin, had a way of moving that was smooth and easy. Torin was now moving like that too. Lord Kalian also came to visit. He did not come often as the others. When he did, it was usually when everything was quiet. Lord Kalian would sit next to Emma's bed in the dark. He would not say a word. He would just be there with her. Emma was okay with Lord Kalian sitting with her like that. There was something about Lord Kalian being still that made her feel safe. It did not scare her all. Lord Kalian being there felt like he was looking out for her. On the night she woke up to find him watching her with a look that she did not understand. She said to him, "You do not have to watch over the woman, I mean you do not have to watch over me," she said in a voice. "I am safe here with the people, in this place I am safe here." Kalian said, "I am not watching over you." He spoke quietly. "I am trying to figure out music teacher, no, I am trying to figure out you. Kalian is not the one speaking to, I am speaking to you." Kalian said, "I am trying to understand you." "Understand what?" "You gave your blood to me without asking for anything in return. I do not understand why you did that. You are still here getting better slowly. You could be asking me for lots of things. I would give them to you. I would give you gold or a title or some land. I would even give you your province to be in charge of. You do not ask for any of those things. You do not ask for anything all." Emma thought about the question for a moment. She said that when people do healing work they learn that suffering is not something that you can talk to or make deals with. Suffering just. It needs someone to say that they see it and know it is real. Emma saw the suffering of the person she was talking to. She saw his suffering too. The only thing that made sense to Emma was to try to help the person and help him. Helping was the thing that felt right to Emma. Kalian was really quiet for a long time. Then he moved his hand. It went towards hers, which was just sitting on the blanket. He stopped right before he touched her, his fingers just hanging in the air, between Kalian and her. "May I?" Kalian asked her. Emma's heart beat faster. She said okay. His hand wrapped around hers, his cool skin felt nice against her skin. She was not surprised by the chill of his touch anymore. Now it felt really good, like a drink on a very hot day. Emma liked the feeling of his hand around hers, it was very soothing, like water on skin that feels too hot. Kalian said this quietly, looking at their hands that were touching. "I have not been kind to anyone in a long time, 300 years to be exact," Kalian said. They had not let themselves feel anything like hope or soft feelings because they were focused on saving Torin. Everything else was stuff that got in the way. Now Kalian was sitting in the dark with a woman, a human woman, who had given up a lot without even asking Kalian why. Kalian did not know what to do with the feelings that were filling them up. Kalian was feeling gratitude towards this woman, and it was a lot to handle. His thumb was moving on the back of her hand, it was like he was not even thinking about it. "You gave me my brother back," he said. "You gave him a future, something I thought was never going to happen. How can I possibly thank you for something like that? You have given my brother a future. I do not know how to repay you for giving him that." Emma said, "You do not." She explained that debts are for when people buy or sell things. This was different. This was something that needed to be done because it was the right thing to do. Emma thought it was that simple. Debts are for transactions. This was not a transaction. It was the right thing to do, that is all. Kalian looked up. His eyes met hers in the dark. The way he looked at her was really different from how he looked in the throne room. Before, his eyes seemed empty. Now they had something bright and fierce in them. He said, "You are either the person I have ever met or the most naive." Kalian thought that she was really kind or really did not know what was going on. The Kalian he met in the throne room would have never said that, but the Kalian that was talking to her now was different. Emma said, "I am a realist." She knows what the truth is about herself. Emma is not a person or a special person. Emma is someone who sees when people are suffering, and Emma can help make their suffering a little better. Kalian said to her, "You are really special even if you do not know it." He held her hand a little tighter. A lot of people only help others when they get something in return. You helped because you really care about people and you could not do anything else. That is something that a lot of people never get to experience. Helping people because your heart tells you to is a deal. You did that and that is what makes you special, Kalian said. Your heart is what makes you help people. That is a good thing. Emma did not know what to say to him, so she simply held the man's hand. Let the silence between them go on for a bit. The silence was comfortable even though it felt heavy. Emma liked the feeling of holding his hand. She was okay with the silence between them. It was nice to be with him, like that. As the second week went on, Emma started to look around the palace when she was feeling better. The palace was really big, with hallways that seemed to turn back on themselves and rooms that did not seem to follow the usual rules. Emma found rooms full of books written in languages she did not understand, pretty gardens where flowers were blooming even though it was not the right time of year, and special rooms where skilled workers made things that were really beautiful. The palace was an interesting place, and Emma liked going to the libraries and the gardens and the workshops to see what the craftsmen were making. The palace was full of surprises, and Emma was happy to be able to explore it during her recovery periods, and she kept finding things to look at, like the rooms and the corridors and the gardens and the palace. The palace was a great place to discover new things. Torin was always with her when she went to see things, and he loved showing her the places that he really liked. He was very good at telling stories. He would tell her all about what had happened in the palace a long time ago, which was really funny and interesting. Torin would tell Emma about the thing that had happened to the vampires and how they were trying really hard to find a way to make it better. He would tell her about his brother and how his brother was working hard to find a way to save the vampires. The curse was a problem for the vampires, and Torin's brother was determined to find a cure for the vampires. Torin told them this story one afternoon. They were sitting in a greenhouse that was full of night-blooming flowers. Kalian turned down every woman who might have married him, Torin said. The council sent women to meet Kalian. These women were nobles and diplomats. They knew a lot about politics and strategy. The council wanted Kalian to pick a woman who could help him make alliances with other countries. They also wanted him to choose a woman who could have children. Kalian did not need a wife who just looked pretty. Kalian needed a miracle. He really needed someone, like a miracle, to help him. Emma said she is not a miracle. She is someone who has unusual blood, that is all. Emma has blood, it is just a part of who Emma is. Torin said this to me in a serious voice. He told me that I saw Kalian for who he is. I did not see the king or the vampire lord or the brother who always wants to protect people. I saw Kalian, the person who's behind all his tough exterior. That is what Torin thinks is really amazing. Torin believes that seeing the real Kalian is a special thing. The words really hit Emma hard. It was like she suddenly understood everything. She thought about Kalian's hand in hers during those tough nights. She remembered the way Kalian's voice sounded when he talked about being scared and having hope. Emma also thought about the time Kalian cried while holding his brother's hand. It was a sad moment for Kalian. She was starting to get it that making Torin better was not the reason she came to this place. The other reason was to help a vampire lord learn how to live. Teaching him how to be alive again was a part of what she had to do with the vampire lord. The palace was not happy about Emma being. News of Emma's healing abilities got around the courts really fast, and that brought a lot of attention to Emma. This made Emma feel really uncomfortable. Nobles that Emma had never seen before started showing up outside the infirmary. They wanted to meet Emma. They brought gifts. They said that their family members were sick with the same things. The vampire courts were talking about Emma's healing abilities. That is why all these nobles were coming to see Emma. Aldrich said no to them in an exact way, using science to explain things. He told them that Emma's blood was special and it would only work for Torin's problem. But people kept asking and they got more and more desperate. They really wanted it. The requests just kept coming and people were getting pushy. They really needed Emma's blood to help Torin. The High Council called Lord Kalian to come on the day. Emma did not get to go to the meeting. Torin stood by the door and listened. Then he went back to Emma. Told her what he heard. He was really upset. His eyes showed it. The High What they did really made Torin angry. Lord Kalian was the one who had to go to the meeting. He told me that they want to study me. They are walking back and forth in the hospital room looking really upset. They want to do tests on me and see if they can make blood, like mine. It is like I am something they can use, not a person who helped him when he needed it. They do not care that I saved his life, they just want to use me for my blood. Emma asked what her brother said, even though part of her was really scared to hear the answer. She was not sure what her brother said. This was making her very nervous, about what her brother said. Torin said that this man told the people that the user is safe with him. He said that nobody can hurt the user unless they go through him first. Then he got really angry. Said that if they bother the user again he will set the council building on fire. Torin looked very proud. He thought it was a great thing that the man did. The man was very brave to stand up for the user, like that. Torin thought that what the man said was magnificent. Emma felt a mix of relief, worry inside her. She was thankful that Kalian was looking out for her. She knew that going against the council would have big consequences. I do not want to cause any trouble, Emma said. If there is a way to help people without putting ourselves in danger, then maybe we should think about doing that. I mean, helping others is a thing and Kalian's protection is important to me, but we have to be careful about how we do it because the council is not going to be happy about it, and that is what worries me about Kalian's protection. The research started carefully. Emma gave her consent. Aldrich watched everything very closely. They took a bit of her blood and looked at what was in it. They used science tools and some other special tools that were not from our world. The results were very confusing to the oldest and smartest scholars. Emma's blood and what they found in it was a mystery to them. The research on Emma's blood was still not making sense. Aldrich said to Emma, "The blood that is inside you has things in it that were there before the curse happened." He showed her some charts that had a lot of symbols on them. Emma did not really understand what these symbols meant. Aldrich told her, "These are like codes that have not been seen in people for a long time, like 1,000 years. It seems like the people in your family line were able to keep something that would protect them from a sickness that would not show up until much later. Your blood has markers from before the curse. These genetic markers are like sequences that have not existed in the population for 1,000 years. It is really interesting that your lineage was able to preserve immunity to a disease that would not emerge for centuries. That is something about your blood and your family line." Emma said, "I do not understand how that is possible." Aldrich shook his head. "We do not know what happened," he said. "It is possible that your ancestors made it through the curse when it first started and they became immune to it naturally. The curse did not affect them. Maybe it is luck that is passed down from your family. Maybe the curse is not just about luck, maybe something bigger than us is involved with the curse." Emma did not think that God was helping her. She had to admit that what was happening to her was really weird. What was important was what happened in the end. Torin's health was getting better and better. The news was giving hope to communities. Torin's improvement was making a difference. The hope was spreading to all the communities. What bothered her a little but still made her think when she was alone was what would happen when she was not needed anymore. When they figured out how to make medicine from her blood. Could help anyone without needing her around. Would she go back to Thornmere? Would she start doing what she used to do, like growing herbs and making remedies with her hands? The thought should have made her feel better. It did not. It made her feel empty inside. The thought was supposed to be a thing. For her, the thought just made her feel hollow. Kalian found her in the palace gardens one night, sitting under the stars that made the sky look silver and dark. He liked to go and find her when he could not sleep, which was happening more and more. Kalian would often think about her when he was lying awake. Then he would get up and go to the palace gardens to see her. The palace gardens were a place to be at night, with the stars shining down on Kalian and her. The man said to her, "You are thinking loudly." He sat down on the bench beside her. I can tell you are worried from all the way across the courtyard, he said, talking about the worry of the woman, the worry that was coming from her. Emma asked, can vampires really know what people are thinking? She was distracted for a moment. No, Kalian. His lips moved a little like he was trying not to smile. I have gotten pretty good at figuring out what you are thinking by looking at your face. Now your face looks like it does when you are trying to fix something that is really tough to fix. You know, like when you have a problem that does not have an answer. Kalian saw this look on your face before. He knew what it meant. Your face is saying that you are dealing with a problem that has no solution, and that is what Kalian saw. Emma let out a breath. I was thinking about what happens with my blood and Aldrich. When Aldrich figures out how to make my blood's properties happen again, I am not needed anymore. I wonder if I will just go back to being a healer in my village with no special place to call my own, no special job to do, and my blood will not be important to Aldrich anymore. Kalian told her that she belonged there away. He said it with a lot of intensity, which really surprised her. He did not mean that they needed her blood, even though they were really thankful for it. What he meant was that she had become a part of Kalian's place, a part of the people who lived there, a part of Kalian's group, Kalian's people. His hand found hers in the dark. Their fingers wrapped around each other like they always did. Torin loves you. He really does. Aldrich feels the same way about you. The people who work for us, they all want to bring you food because you're nice to them and you remember what they are called. You have become very important to us because you are kind, not because of who you are related to. Torin loves you and Aldrich adores you. That is how it is. You are special because of the way you treat people. Emma asked this quietly. She wanted to know what she meant to him. What did Emma mean to this person, she wondered. Emma was waiting to hear what he thought about her. Kalian was quiet for a long time. He drew lines on her hand with his thumb. When he finally talked, his voice sounded very honest and open, which was something she knew was really important to him. You make me want to be alive. I do not just want to exist, I do not just want to protect things, I want to live my life. I want to feel happy. I want to feel sad. I want to feel all the weird things that happen in between. You have reminded me that life is more than doing what I have to do and being scared. You have reminded me that life is about feeling things and experiencing things. That is what makes life worth living. You have reminded me that existence is more than duty and fear, it is about living and feeling and being alive. He turned to face her, his eyes caught the starlight. He said, I do not know what to call you. I do not know if there is a word for someone who teaches you to be human. But whatever it is, that is what you are, to me, my teacher, my guide. You are the one who teaches me to be human. You are the one who shows me what it means to be human. Emma's breath caught in her chest. She had felt the connection between Emma and him growing through those nights and gentle touches, but hearing him say it out loud made the connection between Emma and him real. This made Emma feel scared and excited at the time. The connection between Emma and him was something that Emma had been feeling for a while now. She said, I am a healer, but the words did not seem enough. The healer felt this way because she was not sure it was the thing to say. Being a healer is what she did. She wanted to make sure people understood that the healer was trying to help. Kalian said, you are everything to me. He thought for a moment. Then added, I think I am falling in love with you. The thing is, I do not really remember what love feels like. It is a scary feeling, but it is also very exciting. To be honest, I have no idea what I am doing when it comes to love. Falling in love with you is terrifying and exhilarating at the time. I am not sure what to do. I am falling in love with you. That is all I know. The truth was there between Emma and the vampire lord, and it was really honest. Emma knew she should be careful, she should think about all the reasons why it's not a good idea to fall in love with a vampire lord. It is just that things are very complicated with lords. Emma did not do that. She moved closer to the lord and kissed him. The vampire lord was someone Emma really liked. She was being very brave when she kissed the vampire lord. His lips felt cool against hers. They tasted like the night air and winter storms. For a moment he just stopped. He was really shocked. Then his hand came up to hold her face. He did it gently, which was really surprising because he was very strong. The kiss got deeper. It was slow. They were just feeling their way. These two people were getting to know each other by touching. The kiss was, like an exploration. They were learning about each other. The kiss deepened and they kept learning about each other through the way they touched. When Kalian and the woman finally pulled apart, they were both breathing hard. Kalian rested his forehead against hers. "I do not want you to leave," he said in a voice. "I want Kalian to be with you when the cure is made. Kalian wants you to stay with him forever. Kalian wants you to be here in Kalian's palace and, in Kalian's life. Kalian will not keep you here if you do not want to stay. Tell Kalian what you want to do." Emma thought about Thornmere and how it had stone floors that made her feel sad. She remembered the days that felt very lonely. Then she thought about the times at Thornmere. She remembered Torrhen's laughter and how it sounded really happy as it echoed through the corridors. She also thought about Aldrich and how excited he got when he explained things. Emma thought about Kalian too, about how he held her hand and looked at her. The way Kalian looked at her made her feel like she knew all the answers to his questions, like she was very important to him. She said, "I want to stay. This feeling is real. It feels true. Home is what this place feels like to me. You have given me a family. I did not know I was missing a family. The family you have given me is what makes me want to stay. This place feels like home because of the family I have here." Kalian's face changed. The coldness went away. You could see the kindness in his eyes. He took her in his arms, holding her close with a strength that came from living a long time, but also with the care of someone who is falling in love for the first time. Kalian's arms were strong. He was gentle with her, like Kalian was holding something very precious. They sat together under ancient stars, writing a new chapter in their light. Spring came to the obsidian palace. It was really warm. This was not normal for the mountains. Flowers started to bloom. Birds began to sing. Emma did not know what the birds were saying because they were speaking languages she was still trying to learn. The obsidian palace had been a change for Emma. It had been 6 weeks since her blood got on the steps of the throne. These 6 weeks were very important for Emma. She had to deal with a lot of things and she also had to learn a lot about herself. Spring at the obsidian palace was an experience for Emma, and she was still getting used to it. The obsidian palace was changing Emma. She was learning to adapt to her new life. Torrhen's recovery was going well. He was walking around the palace with a lot of energy. It seemed like he had plenty of energy to spare. Torrhen was training with weapons in the courtyard. Studying with scholars in the library. He was doing everything with a lot of intensity. It was like he was trying to make up for the time he lost. The bruises on Torrhen's body were gone. He was breathing easily and deeply. Torrhen's blood was carrying oxygen like it should. His blood was clotting properly, fighting off infections like it was supposed to. Torrhen's recovery was still going well. Torrhen was getting stronger every day. The cure was really working. It was doing a lot better than anyone could have ever imagined. The cure was actually working beyond anyone's hopes. The cure was a huge success. Success changed things for Emma in ways she did not expect. The team of Scholar Aldrich did a lot of research. They were finally able to make a version of the antibodies that are in Emma's blood. This meant they had a treatment that could help vampires who were sick with the wasting plague. These vampires would not have to get blood from Emma to get better. This was a deal because it combined science and magic in a way that would help a lot of people. Emma's blood was really important because it had these antibodies that could save vampire lives. The treatment that Scholar Aldrich's team made was a breakthrough. This was a deal for Emma. It meant that what made her special was not so special anymore. Soon doctors would be able to help anyone who was sick like her. They would not need her blood anymore. Emma should have felt happy about this. It did not make her feel happy. It made her feel worried and scared. She was not really sure what she was scared of. She could feel it inside her. The thought of not being needed was really scary for Emma. Lord Kalian was not the person he used to be. For the few weeks he had changed. The coldness that people saw in him for a long time was gone. Now you could see that Lord Kalian was a man who could laugh and be kind. He had moments when he was really funny and playful. Lord Kalian smiled a lot now. He walked around his palace with a heart. When Lord Kalian talked to the people he was warm and friendly, not cold and bossy, like before. Emma saw him change. She was a part of it. The way she feels about him is really strong. It can be a little scary. She loves him. This feeling came to her slowly. Then it hit her all at once. It happened on a night when he was teaching her a card game that vampires like to play. He laughed at her because she is really bad at pretending she has cards. Emma loves him completely. She does not hide it. Love is not going to help with the problems that they have. The truth is that they have a big problem. She is a being. He is a vampire who will live forever. As time goes on, she will get older. He will still look the same. Eventually she will pass away. He will keep living for hundreds of years. When you think about the vampire and the human being in a relationship, it is clear that they will be separated by death. The relationship between the being and the vampire is going to end in sadness because of what the vampire is. The human being and the vampire will lose each other. Emma and the other person did not talk about it. They have avoided the subject. It was like they were scared to say something about the problem that was coming. Emma felt like she had a lot of questions that nobody was answering. These questions were getting heavier and heavier every day. Emma felt the weight of these questions about the big problem, and it was really bothering her. The High Council decided to have a meeting on the first day of spring. Emma went to the meeting. She did not want to go. She was not comfortable with all the things that people do in politics. The High Council had asked her to come, so she could not say no. Emma put on a dress made of green silk. Torin had told her that the green dress made the bits of gold in her brown eyes stand out. The people who work at the palace had fixed her hair in a way, but Emma hardly knew what she looked like because it was so different. Kalian met her outside the council chambers. He looked really great in his robes. They were midnight blue. Had silver embroidery on them. He took her hand. Kissed it. This was something Kalian had started doing. Every time he did it, her heart beat faster. Kalian did it again, taking her hand and bringing it to his lips. This always made her feel something. The council chambers were behind them, but she did not notice. All she could think about was Kalian and the way he made her feel when he kissed her hand. He said this in a voice, his eyes locked on hers. What happens in that place, he told her, is not important. She is under his protection. Nobody can make her do something she does not want to do. The protection he is giving her means she is safe from being forced to do things against her will. He wants her to remember this about his protection. Emma said, "What is going to happen?" She felt anxious. It made her stomach feel funny. The thought of not knowing what will happen next was really bothering Emma. Emma was worried about what's going to happen to her. The council wants to honor the cure creators. They want to announce that the cure is finally made. The council will give speeches about how this is a new time for everyone and how it will bring different species closer together. His jaw tightened slightly. The council also wants to talk about what will happen to the cure creators and what their new status will be as the people who made the cure. Before Emma could ask what that meant, the big doors to the chamber swung open. Emma and the others were shown inside. The council chamber was really something. It was even nicer than the throne room. It was a room with a big ceiling that looked like the sky at night. The council members, all 12 of them, sat in seats that were higher up in a curve. The council members looked very serious, like they had been around for a long time. Behind the council members there were seats, for the nobles and the people who worked for the king, and they were all watching the council members with a lot of interest. The council members were very important. The council chamber was a big deal. The whole thing started with some speeches about Emma's contribution. People from the council got up, talked about how brave Emma is, how kind she is, and what a big deal she is to the vampire community. Emma was standing next to Kalian's throne the time, and she just felt really weird about all the attention she was getting. She did not like it when people talked about her like that. Emma just wanted to be left alone. The council members kept on talking about Emma and what she means to vampire society. Council Elder Cassandra, a woman with really pretty silver hair and very smart eyes, stood up to talk to the group. The cure that was made from Emma Hartley's blood is a deal for us. It means that kids who would have died from the plague will now get to live. Our group of people was really hurt by the wasting plague. Now we can finally start to get better. The cure from Emma Hartley's blood is going to help our population, which was very small because of the plague, get bigger. People in the room started to say they agreed with what was being said. This was a quiet sound that spread through the chamber. The murmurs of agreement were coming from the people in the room. Cassandra went on, looking straight at Emma. We have to think about where this miracle came from. Emma Hartley is a being. She will get older. She will pass away. The special things that make Emma Hartley's genes so unique will be gone forever unless we do something to keep them safe. We are talking about Emma Hartley's legacy here and what will happen to it when Emma Hartley is no longer with us. Emma's breath caught in her throat. She felt Kalian get really tense beside her. Cassandra said that the council thinks Emma Hartley should be given a gift. The council wants Emma Hartley to become one of them. This means Emma Hartley will be able to help people in the future. The council also wants Emma Hartley to be with Lord Kalian forever as his companion. The council thinks this is an idea for Emma Hartley and for Lord Kalian. Emma Hartley will be very special if she becomes one of them and is with Lord Kalian. The room was filled with people talking at once, their voices going over each other because they were so excited and arguing about things. Emma just stood there, she could not move, trying to understand what she had just been told. They wanted to make Emma a vampire. They wanted Emma to live forever. They wanted Emma to be with Kalian forever, to always be tied to Kalian. No, Kalian said in a voice that stopped all the talking. The room became quiet away. He stood up from his chair. Everyone looked at him because he seemed very important. You do not give Emma anything. You do not decide what she cannot do. Emma is not something you can control or a trouble that you need to fix. Emma is a person. You need to remember that. He turned to face Emma. She saw that he really cared about her. He wanted to keep her safe. Emma gets to decide what she wants to do with her life. She gets to choose what happens to her. If the council does not like that, then they can just deal with it. The council can burn if they have a problem with Emma making her decisions about her own future. Cassandra's face became very serious. My lord, you must see how important it is to keep the bloodline of the vampire lord safe. It is really necessary to make sure that the vampire lords are protected because they are very valuable to our people. The vampire lords have a bloodline that we cannot afford to lose. We need to take care of the vampire lords and make sure they are safe from harm. This is not just important for the vampire lords. For all of us. The vampire lords are a part of our history and our future. We have to think about what will happen if something bad happens to the vampire lords. That is why it is so important to secure the bloodline of the vampire lords. Kalian said, I see a woman who gives things to people without wanting anything back. I see someone who should be able to make her decisions, not be forced into doing things that people say are good for her. The woman should be able to choose what she wants to do. I will do everything I can to protect the woman's right to make her own choices, even if it means I have to put myself in danger to help the woman. Emma felt a lot of love and gratitude in her heart. At the same time, she knew that Kalian was taking a big risk. The council had a lot of power. If Kalian disobeyed them openly, it could lead to problems that would affect Kalian for a long time. Emma thought about the council. How much power the council really had, and she worried about what the council might do to Kalian. The council was very powerful. Emma knew that the council would not take kindly to Kalian defying the council. She took a step forward. Everyone in the room looked at her. "If I may speak," she said. Her voice was steady even though her hands were shaking a little. She was talking about what was on her mind, and the woman's voice was clear. The woman was still very nervous. You could tell by the way the woman's hands were moving. The woman, she wanted to say something, and the woman was trying to be brave, so the woman, she kept talking. Kalian looked at Emma with concern. He nodded at her. Emma turned to face the council. She was trying to gather her courage to speak to the council. The council was waiting for Emma to say something. Emma was very nervous. She was determined to talk to the council. "I am really thankful for your offer," she said slowly. "I mean it. I need some time to think about this big decision. Becoming a means I will not be human anymore, maybe never again. Becoming a vampire is a deal. Becoming a means giving up a lot. That is not something I can decide quickly or when I am feeling stressed. Becoming a vampire is something that needs thought." She looked at Kalian, then turned back to the council. "I want to make one thing clear. Any decision I make about this will be my decision. I will not let duty or what people expect of me influence what I choose. I will not do something just because it is necessary for politics. If I decide to go through with the transformation, it will be because I really want to be transformed. If I decide to stay human, then that is what I will do. I expect the council to respect my choice about staying human." Elder Cassandra did not look happy. She nodded her head. "Very well. You have 1 month to think about it. After that, the council will have to talk about ways to keep your family line going. The council will need to discuss options for preserving your genetic legacy, which is your family line, and that is very important to the council and to Elder Cassandra." The words that this person said were really scary. Emma did not show it on her face. She just said, "1 month is enough. Thank you." That was it. The words still made Emma's skin crawl. She was not going to let this person see that the words really bothered her. The meeting ended with some people giving talks, but Emma did not really listen to them. Her mind was thinking about the decision she had to make now. Immortality was one option. This meant she would live forever with Kalian. The other option was to live a human life, get old and eventually die while Kalian stayed young and kept living without her. Emma thought about immortality and what it would be like to have it. She thought about living with Kalian and never getting old. That night Emma walked through the palace gardens. She was looking for some peace and quiet in the moonlight. Emma had told the council that she needed some time to think. The truth is, Emma already knew what she wanted to do. The thing was, did Emma have the courage to say it loud? Emma was thinking about this a lot. The palace gardens were really beautiful in the moonlight. Emma loved walking at night. The question that was bothering Emma was whether or not she could be brave enough to tell everyone what Emma really thought. Kalian found her beside the reflecting pool. She was sitting on a stone bench under the flowering vines. He sat down beside her. He did not say a word, he just stayed with her. That is what Kalian had done times before with her. Emma said that she knows what she wants, and she said it softly. Kalian just froze. "Tell me," he said. "I want to be with you for a long time. I want to be with Kalian forever, if that can really happen." She turned around to look at Kalian. She took both of his hands in her hands. "I love Kalian, I really do. I love the kind of person Kalian is still growing into. I love how much Kalian cares about his brother. I love that Kalian has a strong sense of what is right and wrong. I love that Kalian is willing to feel happy and sad and all the other feelings, even when it hurts him. The man's eyes were full of feeling. He did not say a word. He just kept quiet. Let the other person talk. The man's eyes blazed with emotion. You could tell he was really upset, but he did not interrupt. I do not want to become a vampire just because the council says I have to or because my blood is special, Emma said. If I am going to do this, it has to be because I really want to be a vampire. I have to want immortality for myself, not just because I do not want to lose you, Emma continued. I want to make this choice because it is what I truly want, not because I am afraid of what will happen if I do not become a vampire, like losing you, Emma said. Kalian said to me, "What do you want?" His voice was really rough because he was trying not to show how he felt. Emma. She felt really sure about what she wanted. She said, "I want to be a human for a while. I want to get older, like humans do. I want to experience life like they do. I want to take my time and really live. Then when I have done all the things I want to do, I am ready to make a big change, not because I am scared or because someone is telling me to, but because I really want to. Then I want you to ask me if I want to be transformed. I want you to ask me because you want to, not because some group of people is making you, but because it's what we both want, you and Emma." Kalian's breath came out in a burst. "You really think you can trust me with something like that? I mean, trust that I will be able to hold on to you and not lose you to time before you are actually ready to go?" Emma said, "Yes." She meant it. Emma really trusts that person. Emma has a lot of faith in them. He took her into his arms. Held her very tight. His arms were shaking. "I do not deserve someone like you," he said softly into her hair. He said, "I will try hard to be a good person for you because you trust me." He wanted to be good enough for her. He wanted her to know that he would always try to be worthy of her trust. He would try forever to make her happy because she trusted him much. Emma and the person she was with sat together in the moonlight. The moonlight was really nice. Emma felt peaceful. This was what Emma wanted. It was not the choice for Emma, but it was the choice that felt right for Emma. The next day was really crazy. Some vampires who did not want humans and vampires to get along tried to take Emma from the palace gardens. These radical vampires wanted to hurt Emma before the cure for the wasting plague could help people. They thought that if the wasting plague was cured, there would be many people and not enough food and water for everyone, so they wanted to stop the cure by getting rid of Emma. The attack happened fast and it was very mean. Emma fought back with the skills she learned from taking care of patients over the years, but there were too many people and they were too strong. She was very scared when some rough men grabbed her and pulled her towards the garden gates. Emma was terrified as these men dragged Emma towards the garden gates. Kalian showed up like a storm in the winter. He walked into the fight with a lot of skill. Killed the bad guys very quickly. It was clear that Kalian had been fighting for a long time, like thousands of years. The way Kalian fought was amazing and scary at the time. Kalian was a lord and he was fighting to protect the things he cared about, like his family and friends, with all his might. Kalian's anger was powerful. He was not going to let anyone hurt the people he loved. The attackers were on the ground, in no time lying there unconscious and tied up with chains. Kalian pulled Emma into his arms. He checked Emma for any injuries. His hands were shaking really badly even though Kalian was trying to stay in control. Kalian was holding Emma. He was looking at Emma to see if Emma was hurt. "Are you okay?" he asked loudly. His voice sounded really rough. "Did those people hurt you?" Emma told him that she was fine. Her heart was still beating fast because she was so scared. She said, "I am just really frightened." Kalian held her really tight, his face pressed against her neck. She could feel that he was shaking. It was clear that he was very scared. This strong and immortal person, Kalian, was actually trembling because he was afraid of losing her, the woman he cared about. Kalian was terrified that something bad might happen to her. I do not want to lose you, he said, his words were quiet against her skin. Emma was going to live like a person for now, that was the plan. But the thought of Emma being in danger, something bad happening to Emma, it really upset him. He could not stand the idea of anything taking Emma away from him soon. Emma was very important to him. Emma said that she would not leave him. She pulled back. Put her hands on his face. I can handle things, Emma said. I may not look like it. I am strong. I have him to keep me safe. Emma and he will deal with everything that happens together. The attack on the palace made a difference. They had to make some changes. The number of guards at the palace was doubled for safety. Emma got to learn how to fight from Torin. Torin really enjoyed teaching Emma how to protect herself. The radical faction was broken up. The people in the faction had to face the consequences for what they did. This thing that happened was really important to Emma. It showed her that she really wants this life. She wants to be with Kalian and Torin and be part of the wonderful family they made together. Emma wants to live in the palace and figure out all its secrets. She wants to keep working with Aldrich to find a cure. Emma wants to feel like she belongs and has a reason for being, which is something she never felt when she was in Thornmere. The palace and the people in it make her feel like she is part of something. Emma wants this life with Kalian and Torin and the family they have. 2 weeks after the attack, the sun was shining brightly one morning. It filled the palace with warmth. Emma found Kalian in his study. He was looking at some papers. When he saw Emma, his face changed and he did not look so serious anymore. The spring sunlight made everything feel nice and warm. Emma saw Kalian. He looked up from the papers he was reading, which were reports, and his expression became softer when he saw Emma. Emma said, I have been thinking. She sat down in the chair across from his desk. I was thinking about what we talked about, Emma said. About changing and making decisions and when to do things. Kalian put his papers down. Looked at her. He was giving the woman his attention now. The papers were not important to Kalian, at that moment the woman was. Kalian wanted to hear what she had to say to him. I do not want to wait for a long time, Emma said. I do not need to get old and go through all the things that people do when they age to figure out what I want. I already know what I want. I want to be with you. I want to spend my life with you. The council does not have to tell me to do it. I am not afraid of dying. I just know that I want to be with you because I cannot think of a future without you. I want to be with you because you are the person I want to spend my life with. I want to be with you. I know that I will always want to be with you. Hope was shining in Kalian's eyes. He said, Are you really sure about this? Because once we do it, we cannot go back. Change things. I am certain, Emma said. I love you much. This life is really great. I want to live because I want to be with you and experience everything. I want to be with Torin.